Hey, 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 welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. I know you know the deal. Also, know if you're new to the channel, I like to go in deep, which means I like to look at the shadows, the spiritual blocks that create the shadows, and the karmic themes that play out as experiences within your life. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You have to be open to having the reading done live because it's always done live on YouTube. I believe in spiritual law. That's what's best for everyone, meaning you get the free reading, I get exposure to the channel, and collectively, whoever resonates gets to benefit from the readings, especially because, again, these readings are healing style readings that allow you to see how you can actually shape shift your situation. That doesn't all the time mean that you get the person that you want to be with. Sometimes you actually can because karma means learn, and there's many different realities that play out at one time, depending on what you do. However, when you play it, there's usually still spiritual things that you need to heal. What that you'll see that you'll be triggered and there'll be still certain things that you need to heal because our relationships are all about helping us evolve into the best version of ourselves. Even if you say, well, that person was an asshole, that person hurt me. Well, again, anything that can come into your life and hurt you is still teaching you how to change. Thing is, most times people don't learn. They tend to get anxiety, they tend to not trust themselves, and they tend to get stuck, blocked. And that's why I like to do these readings because it's like, well, I don't understand why it keeps happening, or I don't understand what I did, or I don't understand what the hell that person's thinking. And all that is what creates blockages and makes us not trust ourselves. So it's all about, again, getting back into yourself so you can evolve into your best self. All right, now if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you also got to like the video. You got to subscribe to the channel, and you got to write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the first word on the first card that I pull out. And it tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Because when we're dealing with shadows, we're not dealing with people that are honest. We're dealing people that are trying to, convince the world that they're their mask, that they create a facade and they want you to perceive them through that facade. That's not the true self. The true self is a higher self that's all about unconditional love. So that's what it's about. It's about evolving back. And we always include the divinity. The divinity is God, and the divinity allows us to know what is the highest state of consciousness. And it's the universal law because the universe is God. That's what the universe, we just wouldn't know what it was. But we can break it down into the energy of unconditional love. No ownership, no expectations. So when you're dealing with a soulmate, there's still unconditional love, but the behaviorisms that trigger you are going to make you perceive that you don't love this person because they make you feel a certain way. All right. Just a little channel there. I kind of feel like, again, this reading is going to go into the fact that you're connected to someone that you have love for, but you also don't like that because they trigger you. And also because they trigger you because of their behaviorism and that you have reason. But see how the logical analytical mind gets involved. It's like, no, I want out of this fucking whatever this shit is. It's tormenting me. So I'm trying to look for something that'll make me not like you. But when you're dealing with the soul's connection, it's like I still have this connection. It's like, why do I have this connection to this person that, it like makes me feel this way about me? And so we look and we wonder what's going on. Let's see. Perfectionism. So I feel like, again, you're in separation from someone that deals with a lot of shame. also feel like you have spiritual blocks of shame again, but for different reasons. Um, Not uncommon if you have a root chakra imbalance, meaning you were born into families that were, you know, imbalanced. And imbalance could be alcoholism, it could be again infidelity, some spiritual block that where you watched a parent suffer and you watched another parent not be able to be emotionally there. They never showed up when they were supposed to show up. So this paradox of people, and paradoxal is you have one person that gives a lot and you have one person that doesn't give anything at all, but financially they give, so they actually think that they're giving because financially that they give. However, it's not like money's still not an issue because spiritual blocks cause problems with how we perceive ourselves, and money has no energy except for the energy that we're giving it. So there it just shows again that there's shame. So we inherited shame, Scorpio, from the families that we're born into, and it's just because we watch them struggle. And so again, it's on a very deep core place within you and your person. So it's something that you don't even think about because you might have even said, well, I saw my parents actually persevere also. But the experience of, again, when that trauma happened is what actually affects you most. It's like they call it when did the karmic program like be activated? And that's whenever the incident happened. When, if it was at age 7, was it age 5? And these younger years are really what again is what conditions us to make us feel ashamed, when really again we didn't have to be ashamed of ourselves, but dealing with a parent that's dealing with shame, the parent's not happy, the parent projects a lot of negativity onto the child, again because they're spiritually wounded, not because they don't love. And there was no education about spiritual healing back then. So the feeling of inadequacy. So I'm feeling like you're in separation from someone that you know cares about you. You know they want to talk to you, but you don't see them doing anything. And the reason why you don't see them doing anything is because they feel inadequate. Because they know, first of all, they treated you wrong. So they have guilt. And so they're feeling like they need to come in and they need to give extra. And what this person feels is lack. And so again, it's this person's core belief of needing to be something that they're not because they feel inadequate, but they have proof in a logical analytical mind because of the way that they treated you. So it's not like this person doesn't care. So the underlying energy is perfectionism, but we always know what's underneath perfectionism is feeling inadequate, feeling like shame, feeling not good enough, feeling like, again, and you can never attract anything good when you, again, try to be perfect. And the reason why is because, first of all, if you come across too perfect, that tends to trigger other people because it triggers their sense of inadequacy. Number two, it feels unauthentic, and people want to connect to people that's real. And the universe's language is claircognizance, which is knowing, which is you have to know who you are and be true to yourself. It's the higher wisdom. So we don't need to, again, make a counterfeit version of ourselves to be perfect because we're never going to attract what we need to in our life. And what we're saying is, I feel I'm inadequate, which is the core belief, which is what's keeping this person like stuck in not doing anything. Where you're like, why the fuck is this person not doing anything? Like it's irritating you. It's like at this point, you're like, I'm like getting anxiety, like almost like Scorpio, I feel like you're getting anxiety, like, why aren't you doing anything? Like, why don't you see what you do? Why don't, the thing is, this person does, they're overstimulated, which is they're trying to strategize a way to come back. they're trying to strategize, again, because they feel inadequate. They're not in their heart space. So again, when a person feels inadequate and they're in their logical, analytical mind, is because their wounds are what are dictating the situation. It's not because the higher self is unconditional love, but this person doesn't trust themselves. They feel like they need to be perfect. So it's to understand why the underlying energy is what it is. So you could say, okay, it's not that the person doesn't care, and it's not like the person is even intentionally doing this. It's again, this is how spiritual energy works. When spiritual energy of a block manifests, this is how it manifests. It manifests as like behaviorism. So you don't understand the behaviorisms, why they're doing, but it helps to understand, because like I said, a lot of times we wind up taking on the energy like you're acting like I'm doing something wrong. You're acting like I need to talk to you. Well, the person wishes you talk to them, because again, they don't know how to begin. They don't know how to start. This is not their strength, obviously. They are not emotionally intelligent. When you're dealing with someone that's not emotionally intelligent, you're dealing with someone that's insecure, that's not just insecure, but is babyish, childish. That was the word I was looking for. Is childish, is someone that projects, someone that's overly sensitive, that hears everything as if you're attacking them, because again, they're a feeling of inadequacy. And again, like you felt, so these are your triggers, I feel like, some of them anyway. I feel like you were living like an illusion. Like this person acted like they cared. It's not like they didn't care. It's just you got a lot of mixed messages. So again, they were trying to show you a version of themselves. Remember, that's the mask. That's the illusion. That this is what created the trust issue. It's like, I don't even know who the fuck I'm dealing with. It's like, who are you going to be today? And that's the thing. When a person like needs to come from a facade, they are trying to emulate that. That's not coming from their true self. And so it's like, again, it's the kind of like acting a little bit, right? We're not whoever we decide to play Mrs. Doubtfire. We're not all of a sudden we can pretend to be like Mrs. Doubtfire, I mean, but we're not that person. So there's always like a weird energy, like, which is what created the trust issue for you, because you're like, well, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? Are you hiding other people? Are you dating other people? Do you have another life? Like, why? Like, why? And in that, the more that you would try to find out, because this person wants you in their life, but they want you in their life their way, it's like you kind of felt like you were being abused, like this person would verbally get, and they would twist things around, like you were being too nosy, or that you're like worrying about things that you shouldn't be worried about, that you're focusing on things that you should just be hot. Again, trying to make you not be able to feel confident in the relationship. And confident in the relationship is to be able to be vulnerable, to have to know that the person is going to always show up for you. And what I feel like is this person didn't show up a lot, because again, it's very difficult to keep up a facade. It's very difficult because you got to remember the lies that you tell. And I feel like you're someone that's intuitive, and you would actually catch the lies every now and again. So, but really, this person, I feel like, because of their abuse in the past, again, because I feel like they were raised by people that had problems. And in that, it's like their abuse of being raised by someone at such a young age, again, is what makes them feel so inadequate, that when they get connected to someone that they do have feelings for, they do want them to like them, their feelings of inadequacy trigger them, and all these behaviorisms come out, these sabotaging behaviorisms come out, and they can't explain to you why they do what they do. It's just, no, it's not purpose. Like, we can honestly say a lot of times when people do what they do, it's purpose. It's they do it on purpose. Where I don't feel like this person does it on purpose. Yes, they create the facade on purpose, because, but understand what's navigating it, like I said, is are their wounds from their childhood abuse. And I feel like because you grew up in a similar atmosphere, that you tend to keep living the same karmic theme of being with people that can't emotionally show up for you, because it's still abandonment. Again, the child knows if the parent is so engulfed in their own problems, how can they show up for you? Again, they can't. And if you're someone that is like, well, there wasn't really that many problems with my family, but a parent was always away working, or the dynamic of the family, it just means that the child's self didn't get what they needed emotionally. So that traumatized them. It was like, didn't make them feel safe. So the situation plays out as a karmic theme within their relationships, because it's again the parent, the connection to the parent, and how the parent loves is again whether a parent is capable of loving unconditionally. Most parents tend to love unconditionally, but it doesn't look unconditional, meaning it looks like, that there's expectations that need to be fulfilled in order to actually get that love. And that trauma tends to play out. And though that is very overstimulating for both you and your person, I believe, because again, it brings you both back to that time. So you are a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So even though this person, again, is so insecure in this manner, you may say, well, I'm not this insecure. No, but you have other spiritual blocks and you still hold that energy. And that holding that energy could also just mean you haven't fully integrated the spiritual lesson, which means the universe is going to bring you somebody that has similar spiritual blocks to a parent, to the environment that you grew up in, and is expecting you to handle it differently so that you don't relive the same karmic theme that you grew up in a lot of times. But it's allowing you to see the situation that's making you spiritually blocked from being able to forgive that parent. So the universe has brought you someone that you do love unconditionally, but has all these blocks and is awakening all this shit. So the relationship is very paradoxical. Is like being orchestrated, I should say, by the divine. So it's something that neither one of you are going to have control over. Just so that you know. Like, you might say, well, I have free will, so I can still say no. You'll still say no, but you'll miss that person. And there will always be a sense of, I wonder what it would have been like, and vice versa. Children. So again, I feel like the inner child. That's what that is. It's like when people don't have children, it's the inner child. Now, if you both have children, or one of you have children, it's again, the trigger could be you're giving to your child and you're not giving to me. So it's again, you hide behind your child, and that triggers me, but still the person is doing it because they have inner child wounds. They're hiding. And I feel like it's a constant it's a constant feeling of walking on eggshells when dealing with a person that has a lot of spiritual blocks like this. But again, it's like, but there is so much passion in the connection. And that is why it's hard to walk away. That's what the problem is. It's like, I have a connection with this person. It's like, I have a deep connection with this person. It's like, but they trigger the fuck out of me. It's like any which way that they can move, they move wrong every single time, every single time. And it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. And Spirit says that. That's why, again, only passion can transmute that. But it's got to be played the right way. And it can't be that if you're triggering, getting triggered by this person. But understand, you'll want to, you'll get triggered by this person. So it's about how you handle the trigger. That's the key. It's the way that you handle it. And the way that you need to handle it is also to put the energy into a passion. That's fire. You can't get angry because you'll, again, sabotage the connection. It's like, it's everything's the way that you handle it. And if you want to be with this person, and what I think is, again, it being that you don't have control. It's a relationship that's orchestrated by the divine. So this person may be in your life for a day, may be in your life for a week, they may be in your life for a month, but Spirit is saying they're coming into your life because they're, again, I put them there. It's like, and you can turn around and say, I don't want to be with this person, but there will always be an ache in your heart, which makes me think that it's all about, again, transmuting the negative energy that you accumulated from your childhood trauma, and however long that takes. And passion tends to do that. And it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm talking about the really big blocks, the spiritual blocks where you feel so inadequate that you're terrified to have a conversation like this person. It's like, and to the point that they feel like they need to be somebody else in order to be loved and accepted for the relationship to really work. When meanwhile, again, that's exactly why the relationship doesn't work. You see, that's what a psychological reversal is. You just got in your own goddamn way. You just got in your own way. And it makes me feel, so you see the trigger? It's like where Spirit's saying, oh, you see what's going on here? Bringing up a lot of shit. It's like I'm going to rip that person's head off. Because that's what it makes you feel like. And then God's saying, yeah, but then you'll feel upset. And 2 days later, you want to know what this person's doing. And you're like, I'm a crazy person. And so this person feels the same exact way. Just so you know, again, that passion will do it. That passion will do it because it's fire. That's why they always say there's a fine line between love and hate. Because it's like, it's because it brings up all this pain. Like, it's like if you stubbed your toe in the same place every day on the same coffee table, you'd eventually take that motherfucking coffee table and you'd smash it in every single place. You would bring your car into the living room and you would roll on over it 1,000 times, back up over it, then because you're like, motherfucker, you're not gonna fucking hit my toe again. That's how angry you would get. And that's what a spiritual trigger feels like. The spiritual trigger feels like that, like you just want to like, and because Spirit's saying, you see the damage. You see the damage. That energy causes arthritis. That energy causes cancer. That energy causes, do you see the damage? But that energy can also be transmuted into something beautiful, into an expression of unconditional love, if it's balanced right. So you got to get it right. You have to say, well, it's, again, why is it happening to me? And Spirit says, because you had the same energy. But if this is the energy that transmutes that, it's to always get into that energy as fast as you can on your own. On your own. I don't care if you're the guy. I don't care if you're the girl. I don't care if you're the girl and the girl. I don't care if you're the guy. You're the guy. I don't care. You get into it. You get into it. I don't care who you are. You get into it. It's like, because that's the way to transmute the energy. This person's really pissing you off. You feel like you don't got control. You put that energy, because things will begin to happen. And then if that person really has unconditional love for you, well, they're not gonna want to be left behind. They're not gonna be like, I have passion for this person. They're gonna leave me behind, and their life is gonna be good, and my life is gonna be shit because I decided to act like an asshole because I couldn't get off my ass. All of a sudden, you're gonna see that person get off their ass so fast, like you never saw it before. It's like, what happened, Speedy? Speedy, like all of a sudden, like that road runner, ding, like it's like, oh, you didn't move for like, and all of a sudden, yeah, because you're like, I don't give a fuck. My life is gonna be good. My life is gonna be good, regardless of whether you're gonna be in it or not, because I'm fucking pissed off. That's the energy, Scorpio, you need to have with energy like this. That's like, I'm a snail slow. Maybe I'll get there any day. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're gonna move your ass. Because I'm gonna have a good life, whether you're in it or not. I'm gonna have a good life, and look how much attention I'm getting. Look how fucking good I look too. It's like, it's like, I don't need to say a word. I don't need to say a word. You get into your passion, because that's the fire. And you create things, because then you become a magnet for other things that you love unconditionally. Because you're calling in the universe, say, hey, motherfucker universe, help me train this motherfucker before I kill them. Before I kill them. It's like, universe, and the universe says, on it. Let's bring in Amanda, Sarah, Sue, Jerry, Tom, Harry. Let's bring in all these other people, again, to light a fire underneath this person's ass. Let's give this person this opportunity, that opportunity, because again, they're in their passion, they're making things happen. And what you're pretty much saying to that other person is, bye. I'm having a good old time. I am having a good old time. You see everything that's happening for me? And that person, again, they love, believe me, that if they love to the point that they're creating illusions to make you perceive something, and they're so terrified of what to do, trust me, they're not going to all of a sudden care what to do. I don't care what I look like. I just have to do it. Because emotionally, they can't hold back, because when it's real unconditional love and orchestrated by the divine, that relationship is there to happen for a reason, because the divine is saying, and it's not just because, that you like that person, or even, you're going to create something with this person. God doesn't really care. The universe doesn't really care that you plan on building something, growing something. All it cares is if you evolve back into unconditional love. However, learning how to work together is why twin flames tend to like birth something together, because they wouldn't know how to work together. They get triggered. I mean, like, look at the relationship. It's like, I hate you, but I love you and I feel chained to you. And it's like, you act like an asshole, and every chance you get, you don't do right by me. Why is this person in my life? And Spirit says, it's you both have those wounds. So it's, again, you have free will, but the passion. So it's complex. It's complex. It's complex. And it's like, and then it's like, again, it's just the dishonesty. It's like, I don't know who I'm dealing with. It's like, I feel I can't trust this person. This is you, Scorpio. But then Spirit says, too much time thinking about this person. Again, Well, you're like, so what am I supposed to be in a relationship with someone that I don't trust? And Spirit says, more energy towards you. Give this person what they're giving you. They're not going to like it, but you're going to give boundaries. And boundaries is like, I expect to be treated a certain way. And if you don't treat me the way that I really like, I'm going to give you as much as you give me. And I'm not going to give it. And I'm going to, again, continue to feed myself. Continue, because you're trying to manipulate the situation, and you're trying to manipulate the situation to have everything on your terms, which then again still undervalues me, so that you're comfortable because you feel inadequate with yourself, when really Spirit says, now if you're again in your business and in your passion and creating whatever, it doesn't need to be business, but whatever you're passionate about, that takes on a synergy, as I said, and then this person isn't trying to manipulate the situation, because you're again going, bye, I'm over here creating, and you're trying to manipulate, and you're seeing that none of your manipulation tactics are working. So you have to surrender your ego in order to to have me in your life. So you're forcing without saying, hey, you got to treat me a certain way. We're going to have this talk. Let's have this talk. Well, that's the first way the person is like, oh, we're not having the talk. I might be there, but I'm not going to be there. In my head, I checked out. I'm physically there, and I'm going to repeat everything that I've done, even though we had this talk, because how I treat you is habitual. It's, you taught me already how I was allowed to treat you. So this energy of, I don't know what to do, and any day is, oh, I just hope that you come to me, because I have to heal. That's what this is. I don't want to have to be vulnerable. I don't want to have to apologize fully. I might want to apologize, but I don't want to show I don't want to really invest as much, because I want to play it safe. Want to play it safe, because if I actually give you something, really give you, and then you don't like me because I don't like me, well, then it's going to kill me, because it's like I really gave of myself and really exposed myself, and what you showed me is really what I already feel about myself. And so, I mean, and that's why it's really important that people need to do healing before, because what this is saying is, you can give everything and everything to this person, and unless they do the work, it's almost like they're the empty well. They're the empty well. And it's like, I feel like, again, like, because of that, I feel like you both lash out at each other. I don't believe that this is just one way. I felt treated like a child when you scolded me. I lashed out for being scolded. I feel like it's not even scolded at this point. It's like you're both frustrated, and you're more frustrated because you're like, okay, like every chance you get to fix it, you don't. Like anything that you can do to like just give me something, you continually give nothing. And it's like, and you're tired of it. And then so you do say something, and then this person gets anxiety. And so I feel like they get triggered, where they're just like, I don't want to hear it. And so again, they wear this facade, like they're all of a sudden so tough and mighty. And then you're like, okay, so you're going to act like that. It's like, so it comes across very arrogant, very self-righteous, which is like that this person doesn't care. That's what it feels like, and then when really it's like they're so insecure. And as they're insecure, so they're making it like you're dramatic, where you're not being dramatic. It's like it's them actually like being angry, and then you know like acting like they don't really care, so they withdraw, and again act like they don't care. It's all the same tactic. It's that emotionally i I detach, I have avoidance, issues. And it's where it's like, we're not going to be able to talk about the actual things that transpire that trigger us, which you can just forget it with this type of relationship then, because this relationship is designed obviously to trigger and to bring up all this shit, to help you look at it and to work with that energy. So with a person that doesn't want to talk about anything and is going to act like they don't care, well, they're going to continue to get mad. And that's what I said, a fine line between love and hate, because if you continue to keep getting triggered, well, it's not like you can't do anything with it, because it's like the person doesn't want to take accountability for their shit. And it's like, you don't want to take accountability for your shit, but then you do all that. So it's like, and so you don't never get better. So you stay in a place of feeling inadequate and needing to create those facades. And so it's like, though you have feelings for me, but who cares? So this is what it is. And so you would be like, this person makes me so angry, because again, it's like they could heal, but it's their own arrogance, their own pride, their own, again, they stay in those lower energies, and twin flame energy is there to help transmute those lower energies into higher states of consciousness, which is everything that's derived from unconditional love, vulnerability, compassion, forgiveness. It's like, no, this person just keeps everything there. So I believe that there's going to be karmic consequences, and partially is, again, when you really walk away. Because life is, like I said, if you're going to do what you do, we're going to see why you attracted that person into your life. What else should you learn? What else did the universe? I know it's always to create yourself, continue like to create yourself, regardless of whether this person's in your life or not in your life. But if they came into your life and you haven't begun to create your own life again, and that's doesn't mean always working your dream job, but it's to be really fulfilled within your own life, because you're reparenting yourself, you're contributing to your life by, again, joining things and being interactive in life, and just having a love affair with yourself, and without this person. And so allowing you to find what you truly love, what your heart desires, where you can see you lose your time, your energy, your focus, and your money. Those are your resources. That would be the magician card, like all your tools that you need to actually create yourself. Well, you need to be in that energy. So if this person came into your life, they came into your life and they made you feel inadequate because, again, of their dysfunction, well, no one should be able to make you feel that way. And that's how this reading started. So Spirit says, regardless of what these cards show, you need to do that. Because like I said, in order to attract unconditional love, you have to become it. And you have to become it by embodying it, not just like once in a while either. Otherwise, your life will look like a roller coaster. Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It stays good when you're continually investing in it and not expecting someone else to, because this person didn't give anything. And believe me, if you grew up with parents that couldn't be there for you, well, you didn't get it then either. So that's the trauma. Again, innocence, one card. I don't think that that's a bad card, but I feel like in this instance, Spirit is saying, well, it kind of is. Because again, when we meet someone that has such a deep soul's connection, we think that they're going to treat us the way that we want to be treated, by the way that we treat them, which is always the way we want to be treated. And understand the person knows that you want to be treated that way, and that triggers them. So again, your innocence of like, wow, like I didn't think that people that had such strong connections could do something like that. I feel like that's part of it. Self-sabotage. So I feel like, again, this was a karmic test where if you would have went back into the connection with this person and really tried to make it work, um, or if you are in like trying to make it work in this relationship or hoping that it'll work, it's self-sabotage, because what we see is that this person makes every excuse in the world, and unless they're willing to do the shadow work, it's like their negative energy is definitely going to bleed onto you, and it's going to affect your world. And that's the way you would self-sabotage yourself. So again, you might have been the fixer of the family, the fixer, the healer, the giver of the family, and you got your love from doing that. And there's a sense of always being on a rescue mission. Spirit saying, don't. Do not. And you put the energy into yourself, like again, your hobbies and your interests, because I feel like there were things that you were into when you were younger, but that you never really fed them enough to really think that you were good at them. So it's to, again, return to the child self, to invest in other things aside from work and business, and whether or not you're creating your own business, or you work a job that you love, or that when you work a job that you don't love, there needs to be something aside from work, home, and relationships, something that you give your time to, something that you lose yourself in, because Spirit says there was something that you were very into when you were younger, something that you were good at. For some, I don't know, I feel like some of you were really good singers, but you didn't pursue it because you were like, no, I'm not really that good at it. And some of you are just good at working with your hands. Again, go back to doing it, because again, you'll be in that space where you're co-creating with Spirit. You lose yourself in the actual art of creation. And then you get inspired to do other things, and you get called to do other things, and you begin to meet people through, again, investing in these vehicles. And that's how you, again, meet people that are more on your vibration, because I feel like you're on a higher vibration than this person. You just didn't go through the spiritual test. And this was a spiritual test. And I know that because it's, again, self-sabotage. How would you, again, sabotage yourself again from being with this person? Because it wouldn't make you happy, because they're not willing to do the work. They're continually avoiding. So it has nothing to do with love, and it has nothing to do with connection. And it doesn't even have anything to do with you being patient or kind or forgiving. It has to do with that as long as this person doesn't do the work, everything will trigger. They'll never talk about it. It'll always be an avoidance. And that would be so aggravating to you. You would be continually trying to put a square peg in a circle hole. And that eventually would just get so tiresome. So we ask Spirit, what other energy can we bring in? Sorry that the readings are so long, I know, but there's always so much information. So much information. Okay. Return to the heart. Again, you want to know why you attracted this person. It's return to the heart. It's all about unconditional love, darling. I breathe light and stick to the essentials from my soul. In the present moment, I calm my thoughts. I focus on my heart and find space to be where my light and greatness are. I find peace and inner silence. And you would not have any of that if with this person. So understand, you learn what unconditional love is, because you do have unconditional love for this person. However, it's not a relationship that would work out, because even though that there is unconditional love, there's too much wounding and one person doesn't want to do the work. So I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated.